Hello everyone, I just wanted to make a quick guide on the Hero Siege gold farming build. This is a pretty popular build as of recent. A lot of people are trying to play it. I've been doing it for quite a while now, ever since they added the greed glyph. Obviously it was much more OP back then, and the build functions pretty much the same way, but takes a little bit more um, tinkering just to figure out your offensive and defensive stats for Inferno. But first, we're gonna just go through the gear. The headpiece and the gloves. These are the two pieces where you can kind of just put damage items in them. You're not getting too much gold fine from headpiece. You can do Gabriel's Dauntless Vision. This gives you 21 if you put lems in there. You could also tinker a fourth socket if you're lucky. You could also use Grimbone's Visage. There's probably some attacker like Fizz helmets you can use as well, but I've only really messed with caster builds this season. This has 4 sockets, so you can get 20% there. I usually just use the Death Crown because it's a ton of damage, and you get the increased XP gain, which is really good. For the amulet, you're pretty much always going to use Compass of Wealth. It gives you a fuck ton of gold fine. It's pretty much necessary. You're going to lose out on a lot of value if you don't use this. For the weapon, it kind of just depends what build you're running. I'm using 4 socket Glacier Talons. When I was doing the Sunder variation, I would just use a Winter's Bite. And I kind of sacked the gold fine because you're only getting 20 gold fine from the weapon, or 25 if you have a 5th socket. You can maybe get a weapon with enhanced sockets as well, but I highly doubt you're going to be able to do much damage with it, like one of the angelic or unholy ones, the sword or whatever it is. But I don't think it's great for clearing Inferno, and I think that's kind of where you want to get to with this build eventually. You don't want to be. A lot of people are just farming gold in Hell 5, and it's not bad, but I don't think that's necessarily what you want to do. But I'm not doing the sun. I do have my relics as Sunder, but I kind of switched back to Breath of Ice, and I'll get to that a little bit later. So, weapon, Glacier Talons, chest plate. Now, the chest plate, you have a lot of options, but it's most important to use a 6 socket chest plate, of course, with enhanced sockets. So, the most budget version is going to be the Rune Master's Mantle. You could put all lems in there and you get 42, but you don't get any stats. Right now, Gabriel's Broken Wings I don't think are that expensive. You could find a 6 socket pair, put some lems in there, you get a lot. But for me, Grand Archwizard's Mantle is just like already an insane item for my build because I am sort of mana stacking, and yeah, it's just it gives me what I need while also giving me damage, so it's perfect. Your offhand is always going to be Leprechaun's Greed. It gives you 87% gold fine. It's absolutely broken. You kind of need it. I got really lucky. If I'm doing the Sunder variation, I have increased attack speed on it. You could just go for a 6 socket and get the 5% gold fine. Since I'm doing Inferno, I'm using a double Odin Soul Gem Azazel's Despair because it instantly caps my enemy cold res without having to take any other items. And this is really important for Inferno clearing. If I unequip this item and I try and clear Inferno, I pretty much don't do any damage at all. Sorry, I had to drink some water. I pretty much don't do any damage at all if I don't take this item. So it's yeah, it's insanely broken. You could obviously just put another insane gold fine ring here. Like you can get up to 34% is a perfect one. This one is 31. Obviously you want to try and get one with like good stats. Like this one's crazy for Sunder. 40% increased attack speed, crit, and extra gold. And I'll get to why that this is absolutely insane once we talk about the belt. But yeah, you want to use this if you're cold, especially. For other classes, I don't really know what you would put as a ring here. Maybe just some offensive ring that kind of does the same thing. Or if you have the damage, you could just go double gold fine ring, which would be absolutely crazy. And then I prefer the El Patron's style of the build. You can go Liquor Holster with the Gold Fine Potion, and you could get some other like Giga Flasks, and it could be like really good. But I think the Patrons gives you more Gold Fine value just overall because you're amping this Gold Fine ring up. by 150%. So it's absolutely crazy. You get a lot of gold fine from just this one ring. Liquor holster might be like around the same value. I'm not 100% sure. But especially if you're running double ring, you're going to want to run Alpatrons. And then, like I said, for the gloves, it's you can kind of do whatever. I like just putting damage gloves there to help my clear and Inferno. If you're doing Hell 5, you can obviously just do Midas Hands. That gives you 28%. Um, there is... Oh yeah, when I was doing Sunder, I was doing Demon Fire Accelerators just because it's decent. I think Biss would be St. Otto's Diamond Hands if you're doing Sunder. You would want to get that because you could get 3 to 4 sockets on that, 4 if you get the Tinker. So that would be pretty bonkers. But yeah, I just like using Frostbite Necrosis for the damage. And they give me like really crazy stats for Breath of Ice, so it's pretty good. And the boots are super important. A lot of people don't seem to realize that you can just use like a mythic pair of boots that roll Tier S Gold Fine, get a 4 socket, and it gives you just a really silly amount of Gold Fine. So like this is like an example of like what you could get. Obviously this is a Tier A. You'd want a Tier S with a good roll. Commons are kind of nice because you can roll 4 sockets on them. The mythics, have to just get lucky and have to have a roll or a drop like that. And yeah, so those are the boots. And I'm pretty sure that's all the gear. And when I was doing Sunder, you kind of have to run Shade of Death if you don't have any other skill movement diminish. These 2 relics are insanely good for the damage if you're trying to clear Inferno. Obviously, if you don't want to take these, you could just pick up the other 2 Gold Fine relics. And now for charms. So when I was doing Sunder, I would try and drop Watermelon as soon as I can and then just put dice in there. Eventually you would want to drop these and put Annihilator and then 2 more gold charms. But basically the idea with these is you want to get all 11% extra gold small charms. I don't have all 11% just yet. Pretty close. Just have like 11s and 10s. And if I wanted to replace these, I could replace them with 9s. But yeah, I have to get a few more of those. But yeah, I don't have an Annihilator yet. Kind of trying to save up for a good one. Just looking for them right now. But you would want to use that as well. So like some improvements to this right here that you could see is if you're doing Sunder, Diamond Hands. If not, you would probably just do this or Frostbite Necrosis. And then Annihilator with more gold small charms. So now let's look at the Incarnation Tree. This is my Breath of Ice one, which I made specifically for the Gold Fine. As you see, I tried to path to every single jewel socket I could, so I could put a lemon there. And then I'm pretty much just doing very basic magic stuff, intelligence, faster cast rate, cold damage. This is like increased radius stuff, makes the Breath of Ice quality of life and clear like way better. And then this gives you like a ton of damage. Obviously, just like a lot of the basic tree that you would normally go for your class, you just kind of try and path to the jewel sockets and put lems in there instead, because you could get like 25 to 30% extra gold fine from just that. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. If you usually want to try and sack as much damage in defensives as you possibly can for more 11% charms. The lotto ticket, I've been testing a lot. I'm not 100% sure if it's like a must. I've been doing a lot of Inferno Corrupted Caves, Inferno Codexes, and I've been trying to do them with the Gold Fine build at like 600, 700%. Right now, this build, once I have Avariciousness, which is 140, so that's about, I'm like, 620, around like 620, or my bad, 723% with Avariciousness, which isn't, it's not horrible. And then also with the gold pot, so I'd be at like 755, which is pretty good if you're like farming Corrupted Caves. Whenever I would do like 4-man Corrupted Caves, the lag does slow down your pet speed, which makes you pick up less gold. You want to try and have as high FPS as possible, so your pet goes faster and picks up more gold. But I would usually average around like 600 to 700,000 every Corrupted Caves, which is really nice just because you're spamming them a lot, and it's just like a nice bonus on top of the already ton of money you're making from the tarot codexes. So I'm just going to do a quick demonstration run through real quick. I'm just gonna do the Breath of Ice version. The version I'm doing now could be way better because I prefer Breath of Ice, honestly. Um, Now that I'm doing this, I would want to drop Shade of Death, Death Scythe, and Shiv. Probably just pick up the two other Gold Find relics, obviously, and then just some sort of damage relic, maybe like Orb of Ice. Not really sure. Maybe something with faster cast rate. But so yeah, I'm pretty sure I have like the right setup on. Just gonna do a quick demonstration. I usually make like 40,000, around like 40,000 ish per dungeon. Sometimes it kind of low rolls because you can get like lucky with your lottery ticket. And I'm not really clearing it the most efficiently. I have a friend who's Anchor Swing, who's clearing it like way more efficient than me, getting way more gold than me, because he can clear like the entire screen, and he's able to still pick up the majority of the gold. But you just want to make sure these runs are like as efficient as possible. I don't like going a lot of Legion mobs right now, at least with Breath of Ice, because I don't actually, this skill does not do that much damage. It's just very nice for clearing. As you see, I can clear most things before I can even see them. And yeah, I made like a decent amount of gold there. You kind of just spam those. When you're doing codexes, you can put kobolds, obviously, or the doom orbs. Doom orbs are nice if you have the damage for them. Legion mobs drop more gold at base. They just give you loot. You'll always have a chance to drop shit you can sell. And it's also just more monsters, so it just means more gold. But if it makes you lag and it slows down your clear, it's definitely not worth it. Just use the kobolds. And that, I'm pretty much, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about with the gold find shit. Oh, don't go over 1,000 because you'll actually get banned. If you go over 1,000 gold find, you will genuinely get banned. It happened to me. It's happened to a few other people. Just try and stay around like 700, 800 in Inferno. Maybe even 900 if your build can handle it. If you're doing Hell 5, I mean, you could just literally go up to 990, I'm pretty sure. Just make sure you're not going over 1,000 or entering zones with increased gold find, because you will get banned. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. That's the gold find build.